Hi, welcome back to Food Related. In today's video, we're going to be making our hopefully third and final version of our Perlite Hibachi. So why are we making number 3 Hibachi? Well, there's a few key reasons. The first reason is I want to make the design even better. So from cooking on the second one that we made, we figured out quite a few things very quickly that we want to improve, such as making the walls of the hibachi lower. So therefore being able to cook a lot quicker, because the first one that we made, or the second one, it was just too high and stuff was taking too long to cook. The second one is that I want to change the inner form, and I've taken on some feedback and comments from people, and hopefully that's going to lead to a more smooth process when we actually remove the inner form that creates the cavity shape. And the third reason is that I've given the other one away and I want to make an even better one for ourselves. So let's get into it. So these are the key changes that we've made. The first one being we've actually taken probably 30 or 40 millimeters off the depth of our hibachi. So the actual depth where the charcoal will sit is actually only 90 millimeters now. So the charcoal might sit somewhere along here, and then you've got about this much space, about half, maybe 40, 45 mil between the charcoal and the cooking space, and hopefully that's really going to accelerate the cooking time. The form sits in here. Something else you might notice about the form is that we've mitered off the corners at 45 degrees, a real bodge job with my handsaw, but it should make it a lot easier to remove the forms and they won't get stuck. Now this form is just really lightly tacked together with wood glue, so if I did need to pull it apart, I could do. Now a few people in the comments from the last video, the last build video of the hibachi, said it'd be a really good idea to burn this material out in the middle. So I've just used some untreated pine here, so we may do that, we may not, we'll see how I feel. If it comes out easily, then I probably won't need to. Somebody else suggested I could just use cardboard. I've considered it, but I thought the cardboard would just be a bit too flimsy and the walls would actually fall in. Now we've still got quite a decent depth of material at the bottom, and that's going to allow for good insulation. So essentially this is a tabletop hibachi, so it can sit on a table, you can sit outside with a few friends and cook some yakitori all together. So one of the most common questions I get asked is about the materials and the ratios for the recipe, I guess if you like, for this percrete, this lightweight perlite concrete. We're going to use a ratio of 3 parts perlite to 1 part cement and just enough water to bring it together. So where to get perlite? You can buy perlite at your local horticulture kind of place. I'm sure it wouldn't be too hard to find it online somewhere local. This is P400, which is a medium size perlite, and just for aesthetics I'm going to use white cement. So you could just use Portland cement. This white cement I'm going to use makes it look nicer, nice white finish, but it's also quite a bit stronger than just normal grey Portland cement, so that is hopefully going to give us a stronger result, given that we're not going to be putting any kind of rebar or any kind of structural strengthening within the concrete. Alrighty, so we've made the mix up just to a stage. We've added just enough water so it just clumps together, so it's not wet. I learned that lesson. We don't want it too wet because we don't want water coming out of the form. So now it's just going to be a case of laying in the bottom layer up until we get to a height where I can just rest this inside, and then we'll put the inner form in, and then we'll just start packing the sides. So it turns out the GoPro died towards the end of me putting this together. I basically used a chock of wood to compact down the sides and get it nice and flat and well compacted. Now the mix is not a wet mix, it's just strong enough to hold together. These are just some scrap bits which fell off the sides. So now we're going to leave it at least a week, maybe 2. We're in our winter here at the moment, and it's nice and cool. I can come and put some wet towels over this and just let it cure really slowly. So we're fresh out of the form and I'm pretty happy with these results. It feels way sturdier, I think, having these thicker sides, and it actually came out of the form way easier than before. I probably didn't show on camera because the battery went dead, but the interior bits, because I'd had them at an angle, cutting off at 45 degrees, that came out without any issues at all, so no need to burn them out. And I'm really excited to give this a go and see if it's got better performance having a lower depth here, so the charcoal is essentially closer to the food. So really happy with the way it turned out. It feels quite strong. So normally I wouldn't buy into like negative comments and even get into it, but a few people were making a few comments about, oh, what's the point of even making this? Well, yeah, they're probably not that expensive to buy a hibachi. Like, we're talking somewhere between $50 and $100. But all in, I reckon this cost me about 10 bucks in materials. That's Kiwi. So if you're in the US, that's probably closer to 5 or 6 bucks. So it's a bit of an experiment. I quite enjoy the process of trying to make things like this. So if you like what we're doing here, drop a thumbs up. And yeah, let me know in the comment section stuff you'd like to see me cook on the hibachi.